Hey guys, it's Troy with yet another pen video. Wanted to share with you one of my latest acquisitions that I got, and it's kind of neat. When Christmas time comes, one of the things my wife knows to do is just get me a gift card to one of the online retail sites like eBay or Amazon, that kind of thing. And I'll usually find something that I want. Matter of fact, I've had pens that have been on my wish list, on my watch list, and she gave me a gift card to eBay, so I went ahead and started to go down what was on my wish list. And, I didn't pay for the whole thing, but I was able to procure a Montblanc, or Montblanc, for some people who speak English. But this particular pen here, a Montblanc 146. It's been on my wish list for actually quite a while, believe it or not, and it is one of those that you'd think I would have had this before I would have ended up with the 149. Matter of fact, I'll put them here side by side so you can see the 146 and its big brother, the 149. I've had this one here for about a year and a half or more, and I've been using it for quite a bit, really enjoy it. I like girthier pens. And so when I first bought it, I had actually a choice between the 146 and the 149 being offered by the same seller. Because I picked this up at the DC Pen Show, not this year, but last year. And he was offering me a 146. Well, and of course they were used and refurbished, according to the seller. And I actually had quite a time with my 149, and I'll put a link to the video that I did on this particular pen. Right now it writes fantastic. Right now it writes very, very well. And because I did a little bit of nib work on it, and it writes great. I can't complain, and I need to polish this up because I got a few scuffs that actually are showing up a little bit. I don't know how I scuffed this one up, because that's got to be me that while I've had it. So anyway, the 146, I don't mind being the kind of guy who will look for a good bargain and buy them used. I was able to look for this one, the Meisterstück 146. I was able to track several auctions for these and some buy it nows, and just keep looking until I found one that I really wanted. This particular one, I had polished it up fairly nicely, and it actually looks better than it did the day that I got it. But it writes fantastically well, and that's what I would expect for a pen in this category. It is a piston filler, so back here is your piston knob, and I always liked the simple elegance of the black and gold. That's what I really like, the understated elegance of the Montblanc. Of course, you've got your normal snow cap on the top, and you will see that, I'll try to do a close-up of it, Meisterstück right here, and 146 along the cap band. This particular pen, according to the seller, was from the early 90s. So I don't mind going back. As a matter of fact, my understanding is 80s and into the 90s actually were some fairly decent model years. Back in the 70s, I saw some that were online, different price points, different quality, and my understanding is that you wanted to go for something more towards the 90s, 80s, 70s if you can, as opposed to present day because of the materials that are used. Okay, that's just what I hear and what I read, so that's what I'm going by. You've got a nice beautiful nib on this baby here, and it writes spectacularly well. I wanted a medium nib, and that's exactly what I got. It's less girthy than the 149. Now don't get me wrong, I love the 149, but I gotta be honest, I think I like the 146 better than the 149 in terms of how it fits in the hand, in terms of how comfortable it is to write with. You can see some in that ink window there, maybe a little bit of glimmer and of where I've got ink in there. Matter of fact, let me show you what ink I've got. Birmingham Pens is where I get a lot of my inks, and this is the Edgar T. Steelworks Coking Coal Black. I'm always looking for another good black ink. I've got several black inks, and Birmingham has one of my favorites, and this is now one of my favorites by Birmingham. This is a nice, dark, good-looking black ink. So, I shouldn't have to sell you on the concept of the name of Montblanc. Very nice, very elegant luxury pen. Alright, so let's go ahead and do a writing sample, and let's just go put pen to paper and just show you why I purchased this particular pen. This is my Montblanc 146. This one has a medium nib to it. And this is very smooth. This is what I expect in a luxury pen. This particular pen, you can find usually retailers selling these for upwards of about $300. At a pen show, for a refurbished pen with no papers and no box or anything like that, for about $300. I was able to find this one for about $100 less between, number one, the make an offer option on eBay, as well as the gift card that I was given, put me all total about $100 cheaper than what I've been finding these things retailed for. So you can find yourself a really decent Montblanc 146, $200, sometimes less. There were some that probably could have gotten even cheaper, but they had some personalization on them. They had some scuffs. It was an unknown nib, so I didn't know if it was medium, fine, or what have you. This particular medium nib here actually sometimes writes a little bit wide. When I've been doing letter writing or note taking, on this Rhodia dot pad it actually does fairly well, but when I'm taking notes or writing on, let's say, just an ordinary notepad that you would find at an office supply store, it actually tends to bleed out just a little bit and make a very wide line. But this is so smooth, and this is this ink right here, this particular Birmingham pens, coking coal black. Look how nice and black and dark that particular ink is. I'm actually liking this ink a whole lot. People keep asking for, what's the best, darkest, like Noodler's Heart of Darkness. I'd say that this one does a pretty darn good job as well. And this pen actually lays down just a bunch of ink. So this one here is a very nice wet writer. For those of you who like reverse writing, let's go ahead and try it anyway. Extra fine line, nowhere near as good, but you can actually do some reverse writing with it. Let's see about flex. I would expect out of a gold nib, you're going to get some flex out of it. So you get some line variation, but the biggest thing to me, I don't necessarily buy pens because they're flex. I bought a few because they were flex and I wanted to play with them, but in general, for pens that I'm going to use on a daily basis, and this, for me, is a daily writer. I was carrying this, usually I try to do the pen of the day. I was carrying this for over a week just because I liked it so much. And I started to write with it and go, ooh, yes, I kind of like this one. So this has actually been one I've been carrying a lot more than some others. So I was actually kind of pleased. I got a nice 146 for, under $200, or right around $200 all total. And really, that's not a bad price when you're considering the quality that you're getting and the retail value I'm seeing on 146s. This particular one, the condition that it was in and how clean it was and how well it wrote. I didn't have any problems with this one compared to my 149 that I paid, more than that for my 149, and I had to do some work on it. This one, all I had to really do is make sure it was nice, good and clean, rinse it out, and ink it up, and it wrote beautifully the first time and writes every single time. What I like about my Montblanc pens is when you start to deal with the upper quality like this, I can lay this pen down for weeks at a time, pick it up, and it will write immediately. I have that fortune with like my Montegrappa, Omas, Montblanc. I expect that when you start to get into pens in this price range, that they're going to be reliable. They can sit for a while. You pick it up, you write with it, and they write great. Especially piston fillers. But even like my Montegrappa is not a piston filler, but still, it's that particular pen is excellent at being smooth and reliable. This right here, smooth and reliable, easily identifiable as a Montblanc. So if you have people who are looking and asking questions, yes, it'll probably attract a little bit of attention in a meeting because of the name recognition or the symbol recognition. I mean, I was sitting around with a director, senior director one day at a meeting in Dallas, and he had a wallet that he pulled out and sat on the table, and it had a little snow cap on it. So is that a Montblanc wallet? And so we started to talk about the wallet and a little bit about pens, so it got us on the communication path. So easily recognizable logo and a name known for quality, which is interesting because back in like the 1950s or so, my understanding is Montblanc was actually trying to be an everyday man's pen, and they really didn't get into the marketing towards being the name known for excellence and luxury until a little later. And that was actually the time period when they were really pushing that, because I remember hanging out with some business people in the 1990s, early 90s at that, and it was a status symbol for some of those guys when they bought a Montblanc, and they would buy like a Meisterstück in a ballpoint. Now, for me, as much as I wouldn't mind having one in a ballpoint, I'm still more into fountain pens, obviously, and I am enjoying this 146. So, something to shoot for in your collection if you don't already have one. And like I said, I actually like the use of this better than the 149. So, again, here's the comparison. The 149 obviously is girthier, bigger, as it's meant to be. And just for the sake of comparison, the ubiquitous Pilot Metropolitan. So for those of you who are looking and wondering what a size comparison might be next to a Pilot Metropolitan, just for easily recognizable comparison's sake, there you go. So I'm quite happy. This is actually something that, like I said, on my wish list for a while. The quality, the condition it was in, I was actually fairly happy. And I'm going to go ahead and polish this sucker up yet again. I actually had it really nice and shiny and scuff-free a little while ago. So I can tell that I'm going to need to polish it up yet again. I've been using it so much.